Welcome to KOIN Conversations. I'm Chief Meteorologist and Pride reporter Josh Cozart. As we celebrate Pride Month here across the Pacific Northwest and across the country, I'm very excited to bring in our next guest. She has become a superstar because of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, where she was the breakout star and now is a Broadway-destined superstar. I'd like to introduce you all to Suzie Toot. Suzie, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
All right, tell me, you are getting ready to embark on this huge adventure. Tell us, what is your show that is coming to Portland?
I am coming to Portland with Suzie with a Z. This is my first full US tour of a one-woman show. We did a small kind of pre-show last year in P-Town, and then this is the fully evolved, ready to take it on the road version. And it's going to be cabaret-style, all live singing, live tap dancing, musical theater songs, vaudeville songs you've never heard before, storytelling and stand-up comedy. It's just going to be a fun, good night of theatrical, ridiculous happenings.
And it's all happening right here at the Helium Comedy Club on July 28th. So
Yeah.
just after Pride. But, Suzie, I don't know if you know this, but Portland, we celebrate Pride for 2 months, June and July.
Really? Oh, I knew you guys were cool.
Yeah, I know. We're like, why not make it 2 months? So our parade is later in the month. So you are coming at the perfect time to Portland, and you're going to have a great time. I know the crowds are going to show up because they always show up for our queens when they come visit us.
Last time I was in Portland was on Halloween last year, and I think one of the best shows of my entire life. It was such a blast. So I cannot wait to see them again and hopefully some new folk too.
Now, I know you were talking to the Portland crowd here, but as you have toured across the country, what is your favorite stop? And it's okay if it's not Portland, even though we know it's Portland.
I am being so serious when I tell you that was maybe top 3 shows of my entire life was that Halloween show in Portland. I had so much fun. So I'm very excited to go back there. And also, this is like one of my go-to answers for this question, Minneapolis. I would have never thought Minneapolis was as fierce as it was. And every time I'm there, it's they are there to party and see a show and celebrate the queens. So those are maybe my top 2.
I have heard that Minneapolis, they know how to do it there.
They really do. And that's no shade on them.
No.
It was not one of the cities I was thinking about. But
and I guess
made me think about them.
kind of on this trend of traveling, in particular, this cabaret-style show, do you think that there's a city out there that might resonate with it a little bit more, or that maybe you're excited to see how they react to a show like this? Portland's kind of a scene that is used to cabaret, but I would imagine maybe not everyone is used to it. And I don't know, my first cabaret-style show, I was blown away. I'm like, this is a show I didn't know existed, and this is a show that I need to keep seeing.
That's so cool. Yeah, when I was we aside from P-Town, the last time I did a show like this, we also did just a couple other spots, and Atlanta, Georgia was one of them. And there was a ton of young drag queens, queer, people at the meet and greet who were like, I didn't know this was an option. I didn't know that you could do drag like this. This is, after seeing it in full, are like, oh my God, I want to do drag like this. They don't have this here. So I'm really excited to be back in Atlanta. And I'm really pumped to do this show in Fort Lauderdale, which is my hometown, because I learned from the absolute best live singing entertainers in Wilton Manors, Miss Bouvier, Jennifer McLean, incredible people that I owe so much to. And so the idea of getting to do this show and this kind of show there is let me come back and show everybody what I've learned, and I'm excited about that.
And I'm sure having, your home base there, watching you knowing that your friends, your family members, they're all in the crowd supporting you, is something just out of this world. I know we're home of Jinx Monsoon, and anytime she's out and about, people just, everywhere she's...
I'm not from Portland, and I feel like that's my blood family. I'm like, Jake Spotsu. So I can't imagine what that feels like for y'all.
With this kind of being the follow up to your first kind of cabaret show, if you knew Suzie, Suzie with a Z, talk to me. And full disclaimer, I am not as big of a Broadway or musical nerd as I should be. My husband punishes me constantly because he is a drag queen. Nicolonoscopy is her name. That
Oh, incredible,
I
man.
know does that same style, and so she's always giving me a hard time. But she wanted me to ask, where did this nod to Liza Minnelli for your name? Kind of, where did the brainchild come from?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I love that you aren't fully in the world. I, what was so fun about my last show is like kind of I always like to pick out the people who don't know, people who haven't seen Drag Race, people who don't know musical theater, because one of my favorite things in the world is introducing people to stuff. So there's an educational aspect of my show too. Um, but yeah, Liza Minnelli is my ultimate. She's my one. I've worshipped her forever. And the idea of Suzie with a Z as a concept, like as a show name, has existed almost as long as Suzie Toot has. But there's a reason that I waited, that I didn't name my first show this, because it had to be the right show for the title. Like this is something I dreamed of for so long that I'm like, no, we have to really do it. And the other layer to that title that I love so much is Suzie with a Z is a command. It's like, here's how you say my name. It's Suzie with a Z. Like it has so much punch and presence. And I think that's the energy I'm going into the show with is like, I sort of sheepishly introduced myself to the world on reality TV. And now it's like, that's over. Here is my name. Here's how you spell it. And here is the show, you know?
I love that. It does definitely pack a punch. It's a statement, and you're like, yeah, that's Suzie with a Z. Why don't you
It's
know
Susie.
about her?
We're
Here she
Susie
is, and she's
with a
she's going to
Z.
teach you about herself. With kind of the layout of your show, talk to me about what is the creative process? When you're creating it, does the music come first? Do you have a storyline that is already built out in your mind? Talk me through the steps.
Yeah, the first step I found, I wasn't sure at first. When I did the first show, I was like, how I was terrified. I was like, how do you even begin? But I found my process in like definitely songs first because the type of music that I select is bizarre and out there, and I have to dig and find, and then come this. How do you tell it theatrically? How do we like really drag it up? And what stories and what parts of my life go along with it? But I find it came kind of naturally the first time when because I love, as I said, I love introducing people to music. I love being like, hey, so this song is from 1914, and here's why it's important to me, and here's what's hilarious about it. Now here's the song. And I found that was such a rewarding structure for me. I love it, and audiences cared for it.
A-
So,
And it might be
yeah,
something that's kind of a classic for you, but you are introducing it to them for the first time, and it becomes new and exciting. And I would imagine that's kind of the same feeling that you get is like, oh, this classic thing you've known your whole life, it's from the 20s or whatnot, and you're able to bring new life into it. I'm sure that that's an experience and a writing process that is very fulfilling.
absolutely. There is something so the alongside the first episode of the show of Drag Race, I put out a single. I put out my cover of Brother Can You Spare a Dime, written by Yip Harbour in the 1920s. It is about the Great Depression, and it's the anthem of the Great Depression. And I found that like there are this wave of very young queer people who were fans of my stuff who are now obsessed with the song, who are now like, if I play it at my shows, they go nuts for it. And to me, I'm like, in some small way, in some little my corner of the universe, I am helping preserve and keep alive some of the coolest pieces of art that exist, in my opinion. And that I feels like I'm doing something, you know?
Yeah, and I almost kind of feel like it's as queer individuals our way of being able to preserve history in a light that we see it, how it's impacted us. I mean, 100 years later, I think that that's a very important thing, especially as a drag queen, to be doing.
Thank you. Yeah, I think queerness is subversive and it always will be. And there's something when you find out that there is so much queer history that exists. Queer people, gay people, trans people have existed since the dawn of time and have always been subversive in counterculture. There's so much art there. There's so much like, I'm not alone. This exists. How cool is this? You know?
Yeah. And speaking of art and kind of these classics, you are one of the visionaries of RuPaul's Drag Race, individuals who marries musical theater and those arts together. What kind of got you interested? What was the musical or play that was like that at the very beginning sold you on that's the path?
That's a great question. I think the very first thing that I found and realized, like, oh, this is for me, was Little Shop of Horrors. When I first experienced it, because it was at that same summer camp that I did Fiddler on the Roof at many moons ago. They did Little Shop, which is so weird for like as young as the kids were. But I was like, the dentist song and the man-eating plant, I was like, this is so weird and dark and cool. And then it was like a 1-2 punch where after Little Shop, I discovered Rocky Horror. And I was like, okay, now the rest of my life is set because I know exactly who I am meant to be and where I am meant to be.
That is so cool, and I imagine still seeing those shows today. You're like, okay, yeah, this all makes sense. My character is who I am.
Yes, in like a divine way. I just saw the revival of Rocky Horror that Sam Pinkleton directed. Unbelievable. And every time I'm faced with that story and the music, I'm like, yeah, this was always going to be this was always going to be what I was up to. This makes perfect sense.
Speaking of kind of this brainchild of what you have created, this character Suzie Toot, talk to me about how the name came to be.
So, little known fact, but also very known. My mother's maiden name is just Suzie Toot. That is legally what her name is, and I stole it from her. And the longer story that goes along with it is she would tell me as a child that the kids at school had made a song about her, and they would go, Suzie Toot, she's so cute. She'd be cuter if she were mute, which is just bullying. And
Yeah.
I was obsessed with it. I thought that was so funny and that it just stuck in my brain. I sang that to myself all the time. So it just made sense.
So does your mom get confused if you're out with her and they say, someone's like, Suzie, both of you turn around?
Fully. No, she loves it. And like she has come out to many shows and the fans are so sweet to her and she loves to have her little celebrity moment and take pictures with the fans. She's so cute.
and she's reclaiming her name and telling those bullies as childhood, exactly. Look what you helped create.
and she's gonna come out with her own show denouncing me. She's gonna be like, no, I'm the real, it's me, Suzie with a Z. I'm done for. And then my career out the window.
And then you'll be the one on the sidelines being like, we want to see the real Suzie too.
Exactly. I'm like trying to take pictures in the back.
Too funny. With kind of taking yourself out of the stardom of your show, Drag Race, Pride Month is upon us. What do you like to do during Pride Month? How are you celebrating this historical moment for the LGBTQIA plus community?
That's a beautiful question because I feel like for the last few years as a working drag queen, It's like, okay, I got work. I go to work. But I remember what Pride meant to me as a kid in Wilton Manors down in South Florida, and just the like, for the first time stepping foot in a place that is just filled with queer people. I loved going to the parade. I loved going outside. I, I love. And now I hope I have some free time. I hope I can finally get to see New York City Pride. This will be my first Pride here after moving to New York, and it's the big one. I gotta see it.
Yeah, that's definitely on my bucket list as well. But again, you are going to be celebrating Pride here in Portland. We're going to be in full
Cannot wait.
swing.
Hell yeah! Oh, this is gonna be the best.
We're excited to have you. And, this kind of political environment that we are currently living in, being from Florida, typically a spot that is brought up, do you feel that your show in some sort of way is, I don't know, I almost kind of feel like it changes the minds and the perspective of what some individuals might think drag actually is? How do you feel your show, your drag, kind of overcomes that and shows individuals who might be negative that, no, this is just fun. This is lighthearted. This is to bring a smile and happiness and love into the world.
Absolutely. I love all forms of drag. I love drag that is as subversive as it gets, gross and weird and offensive. But me personally, Suzie Toot is not really that. She's always had kind of known what the character is, and it's, as far as drag shows go, pretty tame in that regard. And yet you have the Attorney General of Florida calling me the demonic Betty Bop and trying to besmirch my name and say that I'm some evil thing. So it's kind of evidence that, like, no matter what you are or what you present, they are going to find a way to demonize you because they don't want it to be. In that same vein, I feel like a lot of people do come to my show and the preconceptions of what drag is aren't there. It's not some like over-sexualized version of femininity. It's not overtly offensive. It's not crude. It's not lip syncing, which people are very accustomed to and think that that's all that drag can be. So I find often people come to my show outside the world of drag and are like, oh, I didn't know that this existed. I didn't know that drag could be like this. So in some small part, I feel like that's me doing my job, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and kind of with not just doing, which is totally fine, just the lip syncing and everything, but kind of preparing for your show, you're doing live singing, you're tapping. Are we going to get that classic Drag Race tap?
I mean, who knows? You're gonna have to buy a ticket, but I am advertising it. There will be tap dancing. That's
okay.
That's in the brief.
Good.
But yeah, I like. It's such a different world, and sometimes you're traveling and being a drag queen who lip syncs. Like, part of it is being in on the party and drinking and having a good time, and then suddenly doing a cabaret tour, you're like, oh, I need to take care of my body. I need to like be in shape vocally, mentally, and physically.
Yeah.
Because there's quite a hard job ahead of me. But I love the reward of doing that is so great. But it is a different realm. It's a different realm than lip syncing at the clubs.
And it's going to be, the shows are fast paced with you going to this city and that city. And how are you preparing for the long haul, especially during the summer season? Weather isn't always the most friendly. And just keeping up your stamina during Pride Month and after.
That's the thing. I think that's a part of the reason I waited to do a show like this, was to prepare myself for it. This will be technically my 4th time touring the US since Drag Race came out, which is stupid, is absolutely insane.
Yeah, busy.
But you learn pretty quickly what your body needs to keep going and how to protect yourself and preserve yourself. So I'm saying this, I just got back from a 30-hour travel day coming back from Australia to New York.
You're like,
So the idea of stepping on a plane again sounds like a nightmare. But by the time July rolls around, I will be more than ready for it.
you'll be refreshed. You'll be in the routine. It'll just be a
Absolutely.
typical day.
I mean, self-care and allotting myself time to rest and be a person is something that I've learned a lot about this last year.
Yeah.
And so now I'm operating on a structure of like, if I'm touring for a month, I give myself a month off. And life has been much better since starting that.
Good, good, good. And I think maybe for a lot of younger folks who might be struggling with their identity in any type of way, and you were talking about taking care of yourself, and what type of advice would you give younger people who might be looking up to you and saying, Suzie Toot resonates with who I am, and what would you say to them?
Oh man. Okay. I would say, first of all, just do it. It does not have to be at some grand scale. You don't have to become famous from it. You don't have to make it a living. But if it's something you want to do that you're interested in and you think putting on makeup and singing and dancing will be fun, just do it for the love of it, because that's the only way to do it authentically, truly. Um, and then also my general advice for queer artists in general, is like, whatever it is, the thing you love, if you love drag, if you love Drag Race, find inspiration from anywhere else, because that's what's going to make your art original. That's what's going to, you have to pull from TV, film, movies, poetry, nature, putting all of those in a pot and giving your earnest interpretation of it. That's how you like make pure, real art. So yeah.
I think that's very sound advice for people navigating this wild life that all of us are living in, trying to navigate through. But I definitely feel that your show is going to be a beacon where people can sit back, relax, laugh, be entertained, and doing it during Portland's Pride Month, July, celebrating it and prepping for it. So, Suzie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. I really appreciate it, and I know our viewers do too, and we're excited to see your show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I've had such a lovely time talking with you. I hope to see you and all the Portlanders at Suzie with a Z.
You will see us all there in droves, and we'll all have a great time together. Thank you again, Suzie.
Thank you so much.